Alright, adding and subtracting rational expressions. It's the same as adding and subtracting fractions. So let's think about what did we do when it was 1/2 plus 3/5. And the thing about it was that we got common denominators. So we looked at 2 and 5 and said the common denominator between both of them is going to be 2 times 5. That means this 1 needs to be multiplied by the 5, and the 3 needs to be multiplied by the 2. Right? So basically I took each of these fractions and I multiplied them by the other denominators. So 5 over 5 and 2 over 2 to get my expression. But then it's just a matter of simplifying. We've got 5 plus 6 over 10, which is 11 over 10. And we're going to kind of take this approach when we're dealing with rational functions. So first, we need to get common denominators. And in this case, they already are common. So that kind of makes our life a little bit easier, because all we have to do, since the denominators are both the same, we're going to leave the denominator the same. And the only thing we're left to do is to add the numerators. 3x plus 7. Nothing cancels. You can't combine those 3x plus 7, so this is our answer. Now sometimes we see, once again, we have common denominators. X minus 6, x minus 6. That means our solution is going to have the common denominator of x minus 6. And we just subtract the top, 2x minus 12. But we should always look for common factors to see if something's going to cancel. For instance, this numerator can be rewritten as 2 times x minus 6. We can factor out that 2. Then we see we have the common factors of x minus 6. They'll cancel each other out, and this thing will simplify to 2. Now we see once again that we don't have common denominators. So we're going to need a fraction with common denominators. The common denominator is going to be 3x times x minus 2. And the 7 needs to be multiplied by x minus 2. And the minus x needs to be multiplied by 3x. Right? Basically the 7 here gets multiplied by this denominator, and the x gets multiplied by this denominator over here. And our common denominator is the product of the two. So now it's a matter of simplifying. We get 7x minus 14 minus 3x squared over 3x times x minus 2. Now you might notice I left the denominator factored, and the reason I did that is because I'm going to see if I can factor the numerator. So I'm going to take out a negative 1, and I'll be left with 3x squared minus 7x plus 14 all over 3x times x minus 2. And I try and factor some more, and I realize that this 3x squared minus 7x plus 14, that's not going to factor anymore. So let's go ahead and multiply it all out to get our nice answer of negative 3x squared plus 7x minus 14 for the numerator, and also multiply out the denominator, 3x squared minus 6x. And there's our solution. Alright, one more. This one looks horribly messy, and it's not just because of my handwriting, but because of those denominators. In order to find the common denominators, we're going to have to factor the denominators to see where we're at. And the first fraction, we can take out a 2. We'll have x minus 1. Over here, we factor the denominator and get x minus 3, x minus 1. Right. So, when we look at our common denominator is going to be not just the product of those. Don't get into the habit of just saying, well, I got to take the 1 on the left and multiply it by the 1 on the right. Because what we notice is that this x plus 1 is the same for both of them. So when we look at what should our common denominator be, well, we need a 2. So it's got to be a 2. We need this x minus 1 right here. And we've already used the x minus 1 in the other fraction, so the only other factor we need is x minus 3. Now when we think about what do we need to multiply by the top by, well, this x plus 2. its denominator already has a 2, and it already has an x minus 1. So the only thing that it still needs is x minus 3. Minus negative 2x minus 1. And for the negative 2x minus 1, it already has an x minus 3. It already has an x minus 1. So the only thing it needs is a 2. So let's multiply it all out. And it's going to get big and messy, but you can do it. X squared minus x minus 6 minus negative 4x minus 2 all over 2 times x squared minus 4x plus 3. Keep multiplying. X squared minus x minus 6. We've got to distribute that minus sign, so we'll have plus 4x plus 2. And in the denominator, you know what? We should just leave it factored, because we're going to look for some common factors to cancel out. Let me scoot up, because we need to keep cleaning up that numerator. So we can do that by combining like terms. We have minus x and plus 4x, so that would be plus 3x. And when we got minus 6 and plus 2 makes minus 4. Keep that thing factored in the denominator. And factor the numerator. We'll have x plus 4, x minus 1. And now we see, hey, we do have a common factor that we can cancel out. This x minus 1. So now we multiply out the numerator and denominator and get our answer to be x plus 4 over 2x minus 6. So basically, when we're trying to add or subtract fractions, we need to make sure that we have common denominators and then just add or subtract numerators. Go through the process trying to simplify the fraction then afterwards.